Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here tonight to another edition of NASCAR 21 Ignition's custom schedule season live on the channel. This is going to be a very fun one here today. Hopefully we can get this in with no glitches. Last night we tried this race on our originally scheduled program and we had a glitch where we had a speed differential of only being able to hit about 167, I think, miles an hour tops going into the corner, and even on rookie they were pulling away. So it was pretty ridiculous, honestly. Hopefully, it is fixed. It does seem like it is fixed right now. I'm going to have to obviously run. Currently, it was fixed earlier, and then I put it in rest mode. I didn't turn it off, but I didn't want to back out of it like I did the day before, so I put it in rest mode. I just turned it on a couple minutes ago. Let's see if everything is working here today. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. This is the second race of the round of 12 for our custom schedule season playoffs. William Byron won 2 nights ago at Michigan in the first race of the round, so he is the first driver advanced into the round of 8. You can see the playoff standings on the left side of your screen. Virtue of last night's running order, Kevin Harvick will be on the pole for today's race as well. We're not going to go through the starting line. I'm just going to get right into this quickly. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Joshua Rumsey, Pro Chimp Skills, John, let's see here. It has some other people in the chat, I think, earlier. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think we did, but for whatever reason, it's not on my screen anymore. So sorry if I missed any of you guys, but welcome into the stream, everybody. And again, hopefully everything works according to plan. Realistic commentary, as always, assuming that this goes according to plan. 400 miles, 267 laps is scheduled. Christopher Bell will be starting from the rear of the field with DeWalt on the car as a paint scheme for the final time this season. Green flag is in the air. We're underway, and we'll have to see at the end of these 400 miles who will be the next driver to advance themselves into the round of 8. Speed is working perfectly fine again, 178 miles an hour into turn 3 as they work their way up the speed, stacking up 2 and 3 wide pretty much all the way through the field. Can't tell who that is out in the front of the field who led lap 1 from back here, but Bell's looking to be patient early on. I have ran one time at Homestead before. It was in the career mode, and I failed to make it to the end of the race. DNF with about 50 laps to go, so hopefully in this one, Bell does not do that. He cannot afford a DNF here, especially with Daytona tomorrow night being the regular season finale. Look at Corey LaJoie flatlining it into turn 3, washing up the racetrack, almost getting into the side of one of the JTG cars. I believe it would have been Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47. Bell's lifting quite a bit in the corners. Knows that car's going to get tight in the dirty air right now. No assists are on. No stability help for tonight's race. So Bell being very, very patient at the back of the pack. There's no incentive for him to just try to slice and dice through that pack. He's not going to be able to go anywhere. You can see even Chase Elliott, who had a rough starting position back towards the rear of the field. He's only gained a spot or two since the start of the race. He can't go anywhere himself. Trying the inside, trying the outside, trying the middle lane. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream. Speed is fixed. Yes, it is. It wasn't working this morning when I checked it out, but it literally started working a couple hours ago. I tried it again. I wasn't going to give up hope. And I was like, well, if it's not going to work now, then I'll just run NASCAR Chase to the Cup 2005 tonight. Either way, I'm going to get a full race live stream in. Looks like we're going to be able to do that on this game. So one day later than expected. Now, because the career mode at Talladega was not live streamed today, and I wasn't even able to record Richmond because, again, I was having a speed glitch earlier today, too, and it was actually happening at Richmond also. So, for whatever reason, the only track that I know of that it wasn't happening at was Bristol, Concrete Bristol. At every other track, it was happening, so it wasn't just a 550 thing. Go-Kart King, welcome to the stream. Billy Kramer, welcome as well. Bell's just really hoping now that the field just doesn't crash right in front of him. They're nearly 4 wide, a little bit further up there. Approximately right around 25th. Even 3 wide right in front of Bell with the last 3 cars on the racetrack in front of him. 2 cars are pulling away from the pack right now. Looks like one of which perhaps is Joey Logano in the 22. It's really tough to tell, but the brighter yellow and red car up at the front of the field that is leading the way right now. I guess either him or Kyle Busch. Almost, and now it is. 4 wide in turns 3 and 4. Contact. The 62, the 53, and the 78. That allowed Elliott to get the run on the high side to clear everybody. Bell is not going anywhere. Down onto the apron goes B.J. McLeod in the 78. He slides up the track almost into the 9 of Elliott. Bell in the dirty air pushes tight almost into the wall himself off turn 4. 7 laps complete. Absolute craziness right now here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And any playoff driver in the middle, that has to be very, very nervous, I'd have to imagine. That something could go wrong, even if it really doesn't even involve them making a mistake. Or even the drivers around them making a mistake. It can be something further in front of them. We just have a massive crash. He's got very good speed in the race car, 179 miles an hour off into turn 1 that time, and he is not really braking, but getting out of the gas a little bit early to try to roll the center of the corner, roll the exit of the corner, looking 3 wide to the inside down the back straightaway, but he's going to back out of it. Midway down the back stretch, he's going to let those other cars go. Doesn't even want to risk getting pinched off by anybody else right now either. Fuel window from the career mode was between 55 and 65 laps. We'll be seeing green flag pit stops today, so that will be the fuel window for tonight's Dixie Vodka 400 at Homestead. Over the outside that time through 1 and 2. It's just shocking to me that even the minimal amount of contact we've seen, knowing how easy it is to get out of shape. Why they haven't wrecked. Now they're 4 wide again, and now Chase Elliott's in the middle of contact with the 62 and the 53 around him. Big stack up down the backstretch. Something happened in front of these guys. Bell's coming in hot, 4 wide to the inside, and now he'll back out of the gas into turn 3. He didn't want to go 3 wide already, so he definitely didn't want to go 4 wide. Cars are slowly starting to space apart from each other further and further up through the field, but right now Christopher Bell isn't worried about it. What he is worried about is just trying to stay in this race. He's so close to a win in the last race at Michigan, a close second place finish. He felt like his strategy was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as William Byron's strategy, who was the only driver who was able to make it on just 3 pit stops. But by short pitting, Bell was able to cycle ahead of faster cars that he knew he couldn't compete with on speed, and that's why he ended up with a second place finish. Bell's sitting way back now. A little bit more cleaner air, about a second behind these guys. He can get better turn the race car, so he's not going to completely destroy the right front as far as burning it up, making it tighter sooner in the run. Bell's not able to go full throttle all the way around Homestead. Really one of the only tracks as far as the 1.5 miles in this game go where you can't really go full throttle. I think a lot of it has to do with kind of a narrow corner entry with the straightaways. It's not curved like a tri-oval or a V-shaped oval on the other 1.5 miles. It's the only symmetrical 1.5 miles on the racetrack, even though it does have progressive banking that you can run multiple grooves and widens out the corners. It's just the sharp turn in general just does not allow for at least Bell himself to be able to run full throttle. We'll see if he'll make any adjustments throughout the course of the night. But again, right now, just being very patient at the back of the pack. He knows those guys are not going to be pulling away anytime soon. The only guys that are pulling away are the drivers at the front of the field. So Bell comes in. He's the highest running driver in points coming into this race. I know you don't want to sacrifice points going into Daytona tomorrow night, but if he can get out of here alive and get a decent finish to go with it, I think he'll be willing to take that. Does put pressure on tomorrow night at Daytona, but I'd say less pressure than if we were to get into an accident, have a poor finish, and be right around, if not below, the cutoff line going into tomorrow night. That's the last thing you want to do. Do you think we'll take the 43? Eric Jones is... I highly doubt Eric Jones is not going to drive the 43 car. Eric Jones will drive the 43 next season. I mean, it's almost guaranteed. It's just not... It's not confirmed, but even sources are saying that he is likely to stay in the 43 car. I don't know who would be out there that would replace Eric Jones. There's literally no better driver on the market currently. Especially when you consider the fact that Ryan Newman really hasn't been the same in a couple of years, and Matt Benedetto doesn't even have a win to back it up. Benedetto would be the only one that you could consider maybe as the next best free agent, but I don't think he's better than Eric Jones. I think Eric Jones winning the Southern 500 proved that Eric Jones is far better than a guy who hasn't won a race. You got a guy with 2 wins and, 2 playoff appearances in 3 years of Joe Gibbs Racing versus only 1 playoff appearance in his entire career, Matt Benedetto. He's been in, B-level equipment the last couple years. Eric Jones really turned it on in the playoffs this season, too. I think he had 3 or 4 top 10s. So he had a pretty strong finish to the season. It'll be interesting with the next-gen car coming out next year. Maybe that chemistry's growing between him and the Petty team. But yeah, I was definitely shocked. I know Davion West said something during the stream yesterday about it. That was the first I had heard about it. Then I looked at it last night. And a bunch of stuff was coming out today about it. We'll just have to wait and see at the press conference next weekend. I believe Tuesday next week. To really be able to tell exactly what's going on going forward. Anything right now is speculation. So Joey Logano is the driver leading the field. Logano is not one of the playoff drivers that made it to the round of 12. In fact, he had missed the round of 12 by just 1 point after that elimination race in the round of 16 at Road America. Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski right around there. 3rd and 4th. Harvick, the highest running playoff driver, in 3rd. Chastain, who got his first career win a couple races ago at Road America, is currently in 2nd place, trying to get his 2nd career win. Bell is almost losing the back of this pack right now. I don't know why. I'm not getting out of the gas any extra than what I was. Maybe Bell's got a faster short-run car. It's a little concerning. He is catching a few cars, but the majority of the pack is pulling away from him. The only cars he's really running down right now would be Quinn Houff, James Davidson, and Noah Gragson. He's definitely going to try to make a pass, so maybe even being patient could have hurt Bell in the beginning. I don't think he would have thought in any way, shape, or form that his car would have been better on the short run than the long run, but that seems like it may be the case, and that is definitely concerning when we are still about 30 to 35 laps away at least from our first set of pit stops. I'll try to get the car to turn in dirty air. Definitely going to have to make some adjustments to try and help this car in the longer run, that is for certain. Bell got to go down to the inside of the 00 there of Quinn Houff. Oh, wow. Right when James Davidson in the 15 moved down in front of the 20 got tight, and he actually was on the brakes in the center of the corner as he was sliding up the track to make sure he wasn't going to clip the left rear corner panel of the 62 car in front of him. But now they're side by side in front of him in turns 3 and 4. As they side draft each other down the front straightaway, Bell had a good corner exit off of turn 4. Not sure where exactly he's going to go here. Ooh, a little wiggle. Barely got to that white line down on the inside of the racetrack, and Bell's car slipped out from underneath him. Had to lift. Quinn Houff almost got back around him. Nobody's able to go anywhere right now. Bell's trapped again. It's going to be aggressive down the front straightaway, 3 wide, underneath of Noah Gragson, James Davidson. Sends it into turns 1 and 2. Makes the 3 wide pass, clears Davidson up high, cleared the 62, but now the 62 is going to try a little bit of a crossover move. 20 showing the straightaway speed. Down the back, pulls clear. Look at Quinn Houff down to the bottom. And he almost gets into the back of the 20 of Bell. Bell holds clear barely. No clue Houff was going to make that move or that he even had a run to make that move. With a deep dive into turn 3, taking the line away of the 62 car. Bell back in clean air. This will help. He should pull away from those 3. Logo of the 43 car looks terrible. If you're talking about the new logo, that's not even guaranteed that that's the new logo. I don't know who set that out. I can't remember. They're like, this is what it would be if GMS decided to change the font. There's, again, that everything, a lot of the stuff that you are seeing is currently just speculation. The only thing we do know is GMS has majority ownership in the 43. And then, well, of course, their own team that they already planned on running this year, the 96. I think it's the 96. Or is it the 94? It might be the 94. Whatever GMS card number, whatever the GMS car number is going to be in the Cup Series. I can't remember if it's 96 or 94. Get the Cowboys, but I hope they win tonight. I hope Amari Cooper plays tonight. He's on my fantasy team. He's been out with COVID the last 2 weeks. He better. Picked him up off free agency. He had one really good game, and then he's either been out for COVID or the 2 games before that, he scored me no more than 4 points. 94 car, Ty Dillon, got you. Yeah, thanks for that. I don't know why I was forgetting what number. I think it's because I see the 96 and I see Ty Dillon on my screen right now. Probably why I was thinking of that. Ty Dillon in the 96 for this season for us. Bell is still losing the back of that pack right now. He's pulling away from the 3 cars he's already passed, but besides that, Bell is struggling on the long run right now. He's having to back the car down to 146 miles an hour just to get the car to turn in the center of the corner. So they're going to have to try and loosen this bad boy up. Hopefully it's not going to be too loose on the short run, but major adjustments going to have to be made here for the 20 of Bell. I think he may be lucky to even stay on the lead lap to get to this first pit stop the way things are running right now. Definitely not been the playoffs that Bell has hoped for. I know he's got 2 top 10s in the first 4 races, but he's very lucky to make it in by just 7 points after 2 DNFs in the round of 16. Last place finish at Nashville and a 33rd place finish at Road America. Good thing he got that 2nd place finish at Michigan because things are just not looking good right now. Finishes 2 seconds behind William Byron. He was closing on fresher tires. He just ran out of laps. But at the same time, he was closing and may have had a few more laps to get Byron. If he would have had a few more laps, who's to say that Larson would have finally caught him, because he was only a couple seconds behind Bell on even fresher tires than Bell had. And then even more cars were behind him on even fresher tires catching Larson, so it's just a big cat and mouse game there. Harvick and Hamlin and Chase Elliott were those other three that were catching Larson late. Yeah, the car is just massively tight right now, even in clean air. Overcast skies for this one, 70 degrees by the way. It looks like we're running in the nighttime slash. Looks like it's going to rain outside, but that is not the case. Overcast skies. Bell's going to go major with the adjustments. A round and a half of wedge is going to come out of the race car during the first stop of the day. I'm slowly going to make the change. The car wants to pull left down the straightaway, so really hard to take my thumb off the analog stick and be able to make the move. I'm really hoping that is not too big of a swing, but Bell wants to swing big here early. He doesn't want to lose too much ground. About 5 seconds ahead of Halfgott and Davidson. Alright, there it is. And no damage for repair. Bell has at least kept the car super clean so far. He hasn't hit the wall, hasn't hit another driver. I'm scared a round and a half a wedge is going to be too much. I'm really scared about it, but I mean, Bell running 37th. What does he have to lose? It's going to be 1 point for finishing position if it's anywhere from 36th to 40th anyway. So if that's where he is on speed for the first portion of this race, if he wrecks out, he's not going to be missing any other point opportunities, but you can just see how close to the wall he's getting off turn 4 just the last 3 to 4 laps alone. Trying not to lift any extra. It is just pushing up the racetrack so badly. He's a little more patient getting back to the gas there, but still not able to cut down on the drivers ahead of him. There we go. Wide towards the back of that other pack again. Maybe everybody else pits before Bell and we get a timely caution. That'd be great. I've seen caution in the middle of green flag pit stops a lot in this game. So Bell may try to just stay out as long as he can and hope for a yellow. In my opinion, may be the best thing for him. Either that or he's going to have to short pit by quite a bit. But again, you risk there being a caution. So he's going to stay out of the pits. Nick Larson's going to win 6 races next year. Larson may be dangerous the rest of his career. I mean, honestly, you don't just win 10 races a season and not compete for championships the rest of your career. Like, that's just not going to happen. Look at drivers who've come close to winning, even close to winning 10 races in a season, 8, 9 races in a year. Kevin Harvick, 60-plus career wins. He's got a championship to show for it. But that championship came much later in his career, too. Kyle Busch has 2 championships, and he's had a couple of 8-win seasons in his career, most recently in 2018. Martin Truex Jr. has had a season like that, championship, but much like Harvick, it was towards the later end of his career. Well into the second half. More like the final quarter of his career. So Harvick and Truex are alike when it comes to that. That pack just outside the top 30 is just going absolutely insane. 3x3 down the front straightaway. Not 3x3 into 1 and 2, but they were still 3 wide, at least for a few cars. They'll actually burp the throttle right off the exit of the corner that time to try and keep it off the wall. Did the same thing there in turn 2. Keselowski had 7 wins 2013. Yeah, I was thinking more towards the 8 or more, but yeah, even 7 wins is crazy good season. But Keselowski champion. A lot of these guys are champions, and they're not just champions. Like they're guys that run for championships year in and year out. They're competitive enough that they can legitimately, you know, going into the season, you could predict them to win the championship. And I don't think anybody's going to tell you that that would be odd for them to win the championship. Like, these are proven great NASCAR drivers that have, most of them, over 20, 30, or, you know, sometimes Harvick and Kyle Busch's sake, more wins. Kenseth, yeah. Kenseth 2. Jimmy Johnson, of course, 10-win season, 7-time champ. Gordon's had a couple seasons of 10-plus wins. Of course, Denny Hamlin last year, too. I know he's not a champ, but he's got over 40 career wins. And he's a contender for a championship every year. Fourteen people watching the stream right now. 4 likes currently, so hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you are new as well. 4 race live streams with realistic commentary on the nightly basis. Of course, last night we had our game glitches, so we ended up not doing it. Unfortunately, this race was supposed to be ran last night. So really, we're not off schedule with the custom schedule season. I'll just end up making sure I get that career mode episode recorded for Richmond, hopefully sometime soon. And once that is recorded and uploaded to the channel, then after that, we'll definitely still live stream that Talladega career mode race at some point in time, but it's not going to be this week anymore. We're going to stay on schedule with the custom schedule season the rest of the week into the weekend, which means tomorrow, as according to plan, we'll be running at Daytona, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the round of 12 cutoff race. Now, there is a speed glitch of another sort there that we had an issue last time we were there, and we had to also postpone that race by a day. I'm not even going to test it. I don't even think I should test it, because I tested this last night. I don't know. I should probably test it just in case, because I don't want to have to restart. Have that same issue again. Edwards 9 wins 2008. I think he definitely, well, he would have definitely competed for more championships. I'm not going to say he would have absolutely won a championship if he would have raced longer, but definitely would have competed for him. Not too much further away from green flag pit stops. They're still doing a nice job despite the ill handling, very tight race car. But he is keeping the car clean. Still on the lead lap. Likely the last car in the lead lap. I believe Joey Logano would be the next car behind him, but he's still about 5 seconds back, roughly. 5 to 6 seconds. It fluctuates quite a bit on a lap-by-lap basis right now. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. Already 50 laps in. That's the problem, is that with this race caution free so far, these laps are definitely clicking by quick. This is only scheduled to be a 4 pit stop race tonight. So Bell's got to hope that after this first set of stops that the car is going to get quicker with these adjustment changes. Again, he's going to take a round and a half of wedge out of the car to help try to loosen it up. Really, really hoping it works. He doesn't want to go too major with it because you don't want the car on the loose side with no stability help in this game because you're just going to have no chance of saving it. We're on a 550 track where being on the throttle is super, super important. Hate having to lift as much as he's having to up to this point in the race. Speed glitch is not a thing tonight, luckily. Fortunately, though, there is a lack of speed out of the 20. He was sitting behind the pack for about the first 10 laps of the race, just kind of buying his own time, not taking it too aggressively, being easy. He had chances to make some passes, but he chose not to. And, you know, now, I mean, everybody's just pulled away from him. Just does not have good long run speed. The car is super, super tight, pretty much all the way around the corner. Corner entry through the middle. The exit, it is just tight all the way around. Even with this clean air, which he's primarily had for about the last 30 plus laps, he's had clean air. So, aside of the couple laps it took for him to get around 3 drivers for position. And yeah, Logano, that next driver in line behind him. Now, the only good thing for Bell is that it's a non-playoff driver, or at least a driver that was eliminated from the playoffs, leading this race. So that would not hurt him as bad as if a playoff driver in general were to win, especially if it is somebody below the cutoff line could somehow go to victory lane today. That'd be huge. In a bad way for Bell, at least. Kyle Busch, though, up to 3rd. So he's moving forward. Now he's the highest running playoff driver. No sign of where exactly Kevin Harvick was at. He was as high as 3rd earlier in the running. Look at Bell just shove up the track. Even out of the gas in the middle of the corner, it just shoves. You get to the bottom and just pushes. I don't think I've ever had a car this tight in the game without stability. Crazy. Thinking Daniel Suarez to win the 500. At least right now. Oh, Harvick up to 2nd now. Got around Chastain. Maybe Kyle Busch was there and he just battled him too long. Joey Logano now within a couple seconds of the 20 car. He's about 2.5 to 3 seconds ahead of Harvick and Kyle Busch. Chastain back to 4th. Out of the gas, car's just pushing. I mean, there's nothing you can do when you're out of the gas and it's still walking up the racetrack. Nothing you can do. Other than trying to make the adjustments, obviously, in the pits when the time comes, but Bell trying to use more brakes that time in turns 3 and 4, and when he gets back in the gas, he just pushes right back up the track. He had the car down to 138 miles an hour that time around. When you got the leaders who probably aren't even using the brakes at all, that is the big difference in speed. But he's still in the lead lap for now. Alright, so Bell's only going to have really a couple more laps left of fuel at the very most. We're at lap 58. I think I went as far as 62 laps on the career mode here, so we're going to push it a couple more laps in case we get that first caution of the day, but nobody has made their first pit stop yet. Bell all of a sudden only about 1.5 seconds ahead of Logano at the line. Joey coming to lap 60. Austin Dillon in the 3, who remember made it to the round of 12. He is now track 3rd place. He's the last driver above the cutoff line, only 2 points to the good coming into the 2nd race of the round at Homestead. One car in the pit lane. That would be it. Bell stays out another lap. Lap 60 now, and I think he's going to pit this time. Kyle Busch is actually taking the race lead away. It might have been Logano who pitted. Or Logano actually pit that last time by. So that's why Kyle Busch leads. Chastain back to third. 4 cars pitting. Oh, 1 car up against the tire wall. It's William Byron. Byron has hit the tire wall at the entrance to pit road. Bell's going to stay out. Let's see if we get a caution. This is what he would want. No yellow yet. Denny Hamlin cycles to the lead. Byron having problems. Major playoff implications there. Well, no, never mind. He's locked into the next round. Sorry for that. He won at Michigan, of course. So, one of the playoff drivers, William Byron, in the pit entrance wall. More cars coming into the pits now. We'll see if more cars have... Oh, there's a big crash! 1 car has its rear wheels off the ground. Still no caution as Bell stays on the track, and Bell's out of gas. Bell's out of gas at lap 62. He didn't want to pit because there was a pilage at the front of the pit road entrance, but no caution flag. And Bell's going to have to try to coast it back to the pit lane. That is unbelievable. How is there no caution? Major pilage. The front of the pit road entrance. Bell is out of gas trying to coast the car to pit road. He's going to use this access road to try and get there. Good thing he's got the first pit stall. He stayed out hoping there was going to be a caution because they were all stacking up. And even if he tried to pit that last time because they were all stacking up, he was not going to make it into the pits. The pit lane was blocked. We didn't get a caution. And Bell is losing even more speed. He's going to lose a lap, probably 2, by the time he makes it into the pit lane. Maybe even more than that, honestly. He's only going 20 miles an hour right now. Caution! Caution is out well after... Oh my goodness, finally. Caution is out. Bell might be alright after all. He's going to lose a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. Going to make that round and a half a wedge adjustment. Take it out of the race car. 4 tires and fuel. So Christopher Bell lost probably at least 1 lap there. May have gotten the free pass. Tough to tell for sure. Maybe he was on the lead lap. Who knows? He does get the caution a little later than expected, and that was a clutch caution for Bell. And hopefully he has a pretty quick pit stop as well. What was that? Bell is in 20th, so he gained some spots on the restart. Green flag back in the air at Homestead. We know he's got a good short run car. See if he can pull away from the pack with the wedge adjustment as well. So the field order, that definitely trapped a lot of guys a lap down. Bella is in 20th place. Oh my goodness, big block on Stenhouse getting into turn 1. Stenhouse in 3rd. Jones is cycled to 4th. Actually, they battle for 3rd. Side by side right now. Bell's going to give up the bottom into turn 1. Oh no, he pulled down in front of the 43 and he turns himself into the wall. No caution, we stay green. He just got ran into again by Cody Ware. I don't know if he's got a tire down or not. Again, somehow we don't get a yellow. There is a tire down. Right front down on Christopher Bell. Oh, they're stacking up behind him. And around goes the 96 of Ty Dillon. No caution again. Bell just about got turned trying to get into the pit lane. Pandemonium in this playoff race at Homestead.
Got one right. Clear.
Bell just trying to turn anybody for a caution at this point, including himself.
Clear.
Nothing. No caution again. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, one caution saved Bell and kind of cut down in front of the 43, middle of the corner. Got turned, no caution. He's going to have to make a stop. Trying to make some full damage repairs. He's back to 35th. I mean, who even knows how many laps down Christopher Bell is at this point. Into the pit lane he goes. Saved from one caution and not having another hurts him, and now the race car is killed. I don't know why the cautions aren't coming out. It's almost like before the most recent patch. It's just insane. Blip 500, welcome to the stream. Back to 36 right now is Christopher Bell. Well, the best thing he can do now, he's lost a couple laps, but just try to stay out longer than everybody again this time. Lap 71, so we know he can go 60 laps for sure. So 60 laps is going to be how far Bell can go on fuel. That will be his limit. So he can take this quite a ways. So he makes his way out of the pit lane. Second place, Joey Logano. Problem is we don't know if the handling is going to be good after that wedge adjustment on the second to last restart. Another problem is Bell knocked a lot of speed out of the car with this damage as well. So even if the handling is better, he may not have the speed in the race car itself. He's got second place Joey Logano right in front of him. This is going to be a good gauge as to how fast of a car Bell actually has right now. Stuck behind him, the 19 of Truex. Oh no! Truex moved up. Bell's gonna save it. No, he overcorrects it. Into the outside wall again. Now we get a caution. His own teammate turned him. Bell's own teammate, Martin Truex Jr., turns him. Unbelievable. Stacking up on the restart here. Green flag back in the air.
Got one left. 3 wide middle.
Scattering apart everywhere. He's going to go up the middle 3 wide.
Hold your line.
Problems for Brad Keselowski with contact between the 20 and the 19 again. Truex just flat out hooked the 20.
Got one right.
Can't believe he did that.
Clear. 3 wide. Got 2 up top.
It's kind of, there's no reason that he could have gotten tight unless he just overdrove the corner.
3 wide. 2 out top.
3 wide now, down on the bottom lane. Clips the apron getting into turns 3 and 4. It had to lift significantly to keep the car from wanting to spin out again.
Stay right.
Again, he's got his teammate Martin Truex Jr. underneath him. And Truex is back at 34th. He's not running much better
Still next to you.
for that second caution of the race. Truex just keeps sliding up the track again. Bell came down into him. Truex is struggling with a tight race car right now or something.
Hold your line.
He just keeps shoving up the racetrack.
Clear all around.
Bell definitely feels he's got speed with this adjustment change there. 4 wide in front of him off the exit
2 on the
of turn 4. Bell carries the momentum 4 wide to the bottom, making desperate moves. Trying to get as many spots back as he possibly can right here.
Stay left.
Never would have thought 4 wide could have worked in this game, but it did right there for Bell at least. One car down on the apron, I believe that was Chastain, almost slides up into Busch.
Car right.
Well, Bell is numerous laps down. Not sure exactly how many, but numerous laps down.
3 wide.
sends it 3 wide into 1 and 2, makes a couple more passes, slides up the track, slides back down to protect. 96 and Ty Dillon. The best bet now for Bell, now that he's got the car running pretty fast on speed, is just click away as many laps, just try to stay in this race, and hope for the best from there. And now his other teammate, Denny Hamlin, just pushes into him. Bell's giving plenty of room to these cars underneath him, and he's not getting that respect back. And of all drivers, it's been his teammates. Hamlin got into him that time. Truex already turned him. Now the 96 and Ty Dillon shrouds him, but does not make contact. Obviously, a lot of speed still knocked out of the 20, but the fact he's got even decent speed right now, considering his issues. Bell flatlines it into turn 3. He's just trying to protect to have a car from getting underneath him again. Chase Elliott going up the racetrack. Not a good position for Bell to be in. A little bit of contact. 42 car Chastain's going to make a run to the bottom. And Bell's got a race. There's no being patient. He was patient earlier and it bit him. It's because of this. One time I'm patient, not overly aggressive, and we still don't have anyone. Kyle Busch now just runs into the side of him. Bell was just running his lane. He got shot from behind now by Elliott. AI just no respect in this race today. Bell trying to give a little up tap back to the 18. Haley pulls down in front of the 20 with a block into 1. He wasn't clear. Now he's put 3 wide middle between the JGR Toyotas. This is just not going good here for Christopher Bell. On the side draft, didn't want to make contact. Here comes Truex again. He's probably going to dump us again. I just have that feeling. I just got that feeling. And AI are... They can't hold a straight line here at Homestead. They'll chop the apron going into a corner. And see what Truex is going to do down into turn 1. Nothing doing. Looked like he may have gotten tight with the 20 pulled down in front of him. Gibbs won't be happy with all these teammate rivalries. I just don't know. Look at Truex. I mean, he is trying to squeeze up the middle. There was not enough room. Bell clears the 96 and Ty Dillon. I thought he was going to turn Bell that time. Bell's not doing anything here. He's holding his line. He's trying to block the 19 now, but why would you let your teammate go through that? Already dumped you. They're being overly aggressive. It's not even being aggressive. Like, they're just dumb. The AI in this game are so stupid that they can't hold a straight line in the center of the corner. On tracks that, even when they run wide open and are the easiest tracks in this game, they do the same thing. Massive run off the high side that time for Bell. Gapes him back in the sucker hole, and Bell gets by on the inside of Chastain. Inside of Suarez off the exit of turn 2. Yeah, this car's definitely a mangled mess right now, that's for sure. That is for sure. Kyle Busch is back to 22nd. Remember, he was leading for a brief moment in the middle of green flag stops, so he was as high as 2nd in the actual running order before that. So lap 71 was the last pit stop for Christopher Bell. I wonder how much speed this car would have if we didn't have damage with this adjustment. I feel like, I mean, we won't know for sure, but I feel like we could contend for a win. And if we were on the same lap. Bell was as high as 20th after the first restart. The second one, obviously, he was involved in the wreck, and he's back to 36, even more laps down. Well, if the checkered flag flew right now with Bell at 36, he's only going to get 1 point for his race finishing results. And all he's hoping for right now is big wrecks again and things going his way. The problem is again, we had a big wreck at the front of the pit road entrance. One car was up on 2 wheels. Rear tires lifted up off the ground, and I mean, nothing happened because we didn't get a caution. So Bell stayed out, ran out of gas, lost a lap or 2 there, got the caution, restarted 20th, at least 1 lap down, probably 2, and then just got wrecked by Truex. Wrecked by Truex, second caution came out. We had it saved, and then I just overcorrected it, but I mean, if he would have obviously never drilled me in the left rear in the first place, we wouldn't have had that problem. And the outside of the 53 car.
One down low. Still there. Clear all around.
Trisha Games, welcome to the stream. Yeah, the only thing we hope is we have another caution in the middle of green flag stops like last time. Bell stays out as long as possible. We get a caution. I know he could go a few laps further than everybody else because he pitted after the restart. 60 laps from lap 71 would take him to lap 131 before he'd have to pit for the second time today. Scheduled time, that is. He had a blown right front when the caution didn't come out earlier in the race as well. Off that first restart. Oh, got out of the gas way too long there. All the momentum you lose just getting out of the gas. Any extra. 3 cars in front of him just pulled him. Enjoy, Ware, Custer. Run off the exit of turn 4 for Christopher Bell. What lane is he going to go to into turns 1 and 2? Enjoy moves up. He's trying to go to the bottom. Just doesn't have speed tonight. They unloaded slow. They tried to make adjustments. After making adjustments, the car was wrecked. To nothing of his own fault. Fortunate circumstance, more bad luck in the playoffs for Bell, but just like the first round, can he survive it in round 2? Undercut there on the 51 of Ware. He's not going to clear him off the exit of turn 2. Go up and side draft him a little bit. Ware just gave him a shot to the inside. And now he just chopped him off and he about turned him. Bell power slides. Trying to make a save down to the inside. Cody Ware just moved down in front of him. Now he slides through the grass, still trying to make a save. Finally saves the race car. No caution again. Gotta be joking me. I'm trying to get back in the gas and the car just spins. Only losing more laps. There's Cody Ware.
Got one right. All clear.
Trying to get out of the way for these guys. Oh, jeez.
Clear, clear.
Surprised they actually slowed down that time. 38 car Anthony Alfredo.
One left. Clear all around.
Jesus. Why does that even happen?
Tear it up. Clear, clear, clear.
62 just pulled up right in front of the 20 in the middle of the corner. I'm about to just park it, honestly. There's no point. There's no point. Only losing more and more laps. The only thing we're hoping for is DNFs by anybody else. can't catch a break with this game. Even down the straightaway. Even down the straightaway, Cody Ware decides to hit us. And then he didn't get off of us. I was moving down, he was moving down, and then we get into the corner and I lose control because of the contact. Kyle Busch did that earlier, but I didn't get hooked on him. Where we were on his inside, we were running in a straight line, he just kind of comes off the wall and just kind of slaps us. Like, why do they move down in the middle of the straightaway like that? They're not trying to side draft, they just hit you. They keep going down. It's like, why is that even a thing? Then we get wrecked, no caution. Only to get wrecked by the AI off the exit of turn 2. After we were up to speed already. 62 car. Brendan gone. Surprised there's only been 2 cautions in this race. I mean, you would think there would be more with all the spins and the carnage we've seen. We do know William Byron is out of the race. Looks like Ryan Blaney's out of the race too in 37th. I don't think Bell can go backwards anymore in 36. I think the 4 cars that are behind him are out of the race, which would be Blaney, McDowell, Briscoe, and Byron. Don't want to run out of fuel in this game. Yeah, it's terrible. I would have pit at lap 60. The only reason I tried to go 1 lap further is because they were wrecking on the pit road entrance. And not only I thought there was going to be a caution, but even if I tried to pit, the pit road was blocked. Like, there were cars wrecking. I wouldn't have been able to pit. I would have had to literally stop behind them and wait for the traffic to clear out, which I don't even know if it ended up clearing out. I might have thrown the caution. It was just super delayed because they did throw it when we were out of gas and got back into the middle of 3 and 4. But I wasn't around to that part of the track to be able to actually tell if it was cleared out or not. We saw Ty Dillon spin earlier. We didn't get a caution for that either. That was on the actual racing group. That was on the restart too before Bell had gotten dumped. All by himself again. Still trying to complete the race as much as I just want to give up. I just can't. Just in case we have more DNFs, because every point's going to be so vital. Bell's not going to pass anybody on speed today. He has too many laps down that no matter how fast his car is, he's not going to make up enough laps on some of these other drivers and be able to win. I will say I'm dumping Cody Ware next time I see him. I know we got dumped by our teammate Truex already, and we got side slapped by a couple of our teammates too. Got another car in the pit lane, can't tell who it is. It looked like the 43 and the 17 just pit. Not sure why they're pitting at lap 102. But they are short pitting, they were in 34th earlier. He's got a lot fresher tires than everybody else right now too, about 30 lap fresher tires. I could go to just shy of lap 160 before he pits again. He should make it on 2 stops still to the end of the race, so it wasn't much of an unscheduled stop. It's just more of a short pit to make it a 2-stopper to the end. Again, it's simple for Bell. I mean, run it out. Hope we get some more DNFs and picks up a couple more positions. I will have the points updated in the community tab on the channel either tonight or sometime tomorrow. I'll put it up when I'm at work. And those will be the updated standings for tomorrow night's race at Daytona under the lights. 3x3 action in the back of this other pack up here. Cars mixed in just outside the top 20, just outside the top 30. Bell's going to hopefully get around it pretty quick. He's got fresher tires. Not able to go real fast. All the damage from the accident. Still topping off about 170 miles an hour on corner entry. He's tagging that white line. Yeah, you kind of see him just gradually moving down middle of the straightaway. Ty Dillon with a big block on the 62. They got hung up.
3 wide, you got 2 up.
Bell was 4 wide. He slides a little bit down on the white line. Not enough room to go 4 wide. Catches the race car as it slides back up the racetrack, and they'll try it again in about a half a lap. Ruthless aggression being shown right now by even non-playoff drivers at the back of the field. Gets the cut to the inside of the 52 car of Josh Balicki. They dive it off into turns 1 and 2. Look at the mid-corner speed that time for Bell. Aggressively going 3 wide, just trying to get out of the way of these guys as quick as possible. Cloud moves low. Bell goes even lower, trying to stay away from him. Doesn't want to get sideswiped and blow another tire. Gonna go to the outside this time.
Clear.
Turns 1 and 2. That almost worked out a little bit better.
Got 1 low.
Going to the top.
Hold your line. All clear.
Third, Suarez and Haley and Gase all off the exit of that last corner. Not able to drive it in deeper. Yeah, I've now ran out of fuel at 3 tracks if you include tonight. We got lucky we got a caution tonight, though. I mean, it ultimately didn't matter because we got wrecked on the restart by Truex, but that's what it is. The good thing is Truex is 34th. I'd imagine he's not going to be able to pass too many more cars. He came in well below the cutoff line anyway, so he was likely in a must-win situation. This is only going to even further amplify the fact that Truex is likely going to have to win. And definitely not looking like it's going to be tonight. Truex likely in a must-win situation tomorrow night at Daytona. We don't know the points hit Bell's going to have at the end of this race, but that 29-point cushion he had going into the night is likely going to be gone. And it's a shame. Again, things out of really his control, and that's something we talked about earlier. I know running out of fuel, you could say, was partially my fault, but I'm not going to take full blame of that because, again, pit road was blocked. I couldn't get into the pits when I wanted to, so I went an extra lap and with no telemetry. If I knew I had to absolutely pit there because there was telemetry and I knew I wasn't going to likely make it another lap, I would have just sat there because it would have been better than running out of gas. But because there's no telemetry, I had to make not even an educated guess, just a guess. An assumption that I could make it. Truex is up to 28, so never mind for me saying that he's not going to be able to gain many positions. He's already gained 6 spots since the last time we saw him. I mean, theoretically, he could make up those points between tonight and Daytona, but he's likely not going to make up hardly any points on the cutoff line. Now, Ryan Blaney, he's out. He was also eliminated in the last round, so I believe Bell is the lowest running playoff driver, excluding Byron, but Byron's already locked into the round of 8 with that win at Michigan. So good thing he did win at Michigan, otherwise he may be below the cutoff line going into Daytona, but that is not the case.
got 2 up top, 3 wide. You got 2 up top, 2 on the outside. You're 3.
Well, there's Cody Ware. Bell's not going to wreck him now. Knowing we're not too far away from green flag pit stops for everybody else, so Bell didn't want to wreck Cody Ware that time. Just in case we end up getting more cars wrecking out, or the majority of them pit sometime soon. I guess within the next 5 to 15 laps. Trust me when I say we will get payback on Cody Ware. Cody Ware's in 21st right now, by the way. I really don't know how. I don't think I'm going to be making any adjustments the rest of the race. I mean, the car's honestly handling all right. I think it's just slowed down so much that the damage isn't affecting the handling as much. We got about 30 lap pressure tires. We're barely closing on these guys lap after lap, even the ones that are side by side. Teammate Martin Truex Jr. just up the way. Another playoff driver, Alex Bowman, in 27th. They're likely battling for position. Here comes Bell on those pressure tires with the inside of his teammate Truex. Into turns 1 and 2. Going to go down to the bottom. 4 wide in the center of turns 1 and 2. That's a risky place to be, and they are still 4 wide. Now down to 3 wide, it looks like, on the back straightaway. Not a lot of room. Bell barely clears Ross Chastain. Can't quite clear the 48 car yet. Look at the 2. He was trying to side draft the 42. Bell drives it deep into 1 and 2 now, and he'll look to the outside of the 48. Alex Bowman pulls up in front of him. Bowman gained a spot on Keselowski now to move to 26th. Brad Kay was in the top 5 earlier. That is no longer the case. Bell trying to roll the corner. Just gets to the inside of Bowman off the exit of turn 4. Ethan, welcome to the stream. One of the most popular driver for the... I have no clue. I have not watched anything from the awards weekend yet. Are you asking me who do I think is going to do it? I would probably think Gregson's going to win it, honestly. If not Gregson, Allmendinger, but I'm gonna say Gregson's got it.
1 left. Clear.
Although Brandon Brown might actually win it. I really don't know. Probably not. A lot of people probably don't even know who Brandon Brown is. enough to vote for him for Fan of the Year. Yeah, I retract that. I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Gregson. Because non-NASCAR fans aren't going to know who Brandon Brown is. And there's a lot of NASCAR fans that don't watch the Xfinity Series that don't know who Brandon Brown is. Oh, jeez. Bell crowds the 33 of Austin Cindric, but Cindric also moved up the track, so process of the 20 moving down as the 33 was coming up. They got clung on each other. The 48 of Bowman drives by. Drake Wyman, welcome to the stream. Popular driver for the Xfinity Series, not the Cup Series. Couple cars into the pit lane, so got the start of green flag pit stops. It's honestly what Christopher Bell was waiting for. A lot 3 wide racing going on further up ahead again. Going to the outside. Turns 3 and 4. One car pitting up the way off the exit of turn 4. Ryan Newman was that driver. And Brandon Brown's not an owner driver. Family owned. I think his dad, out of technicality, his dad owns the team. Man. Benedetto pulling up. Nowhere to go, and he dumps the 20 of Bell. What was that? And no caution. Now the caution waves. That was ridiculous. Just kind of slowly pulled up right in front of the 20 of Bell. After coming out of the pit lane, he was obviously not up to speed. The car's wrecked again. Kyle Larson or Bubba Wallace. What are you like asking the question for? I'm trying to do realistic commentary, but with this game it's kind of difficult, if you guys could tell already over the last month. I do my best. Even though you're racing. Yeah, I tried to call the wreck as if it was real, but then explain my side of the situation well after the fact. I don't know why it restarted Bell in second gear. I don't think it's really done that ever for me here. Usually it's third gear. Might see a lot of cars pitting after the caution. Maybe that'll help Bell. Stacking up quite a bit down the back straightaway. He's going to go to the outside just in case. We run 3 and 4 wide. Yep, we got a lot of cars pitting. A lot of cars pitting. Bell to the outside. Maybe that'll cause an accident. He's not going to gain any spots back out of this because of how many laps down he is, but maybe it'll be an accident, a big wreck that knocks more drivers out of the race. It's the only reason Bell is still running this one and hasn't just pulled to the garage. Like how I do that. Thanks. Thanks, by the way. Do it on a nightly basis, whether it's the video game races or real races when NASCAR starts back up again next season. Yeah, we do have some cars wrecked. A big pile up at the front of the pit road entrance. That is exactly what Christopher Bell wanted and got. Oh my goodness. He's trying to get out of Logano's way. He moved to the outside, didn't realize Elliott was coming. Barely cleared him and then quickly pulled out of Elliott's way. He doesn't have the speed these faster cars do, even on equal tires. He didn't at the start of the race, especially not anymore with the damage. So Bell's just going to stay to the outside. He's going to stay out of everybody's way, and he gets drilled and turned by Harvick. What is going on? Even trying to stay out of the way, Bell still gets dumped. Still gets dumped. Didn't lift. Didn't lift, just stayed wide to let him go underneath me, and they still drill me. And obviously when I was getting turned, he was still staying in the gas because there wasn't any lift and drive off. I mean, he was in the gas just turning me all the way around. Kind of relates back to what I talked about the AI earlier in the day. I don't know how we haven't gotten... I mean, there's no, like, DNFs in this game unless, like, you get disqualified, but then it puts you behind. Harvick's just a jerk. Yeah. Green flag back in the air again. They may pit off the restart. Might have some more cars out of the race. Bell's up to 35th. On the apron going into turns 1 and 2 underneath his teammate Busch. Just ran him up the racetrack. Probably not a wise thing for Bell to do. He's still stuck on the bottom. He wants to get to the outside, assuming we're going to have a lot of cars pit again. They're all migrating down to the bottom of the racetrack. Bell's checking up, and they never pit. So I guess Bell checked up for no reason. 3 wide to his outside. Larson almost gets squeezed into the wall by Almirola. They're still making contact. Bell knows he doesn't have a fast race car. He's just trying to hang on for dear life. Larson moves up. Or I should say Larson almost got sandwiched. It was the 10 of Almirola who moved up right in front of him. Larson had to lift. He's running 26, not having so hot of a night. Oh man, 4 wide. Thought they were 3 wide for a second, but I guess they were 4 wide. Bell way at the back of the pack. Nobody in line behind him. Not sure who that other driver was that got knocked out of the race that would be scored 36, but that got Bell 1 more point. Again, it's the only reason we're still running this race. Every point matters, especially in the playoffs. This being the second race of the round. I just saw 36 on there. I didn't see who it was. I'll probably find out one of these laps coming up pretty soon. Napa boy, welcome to the stream. So going from 1 point scored on the day to 2 now for Bell. Could be the difference at the end of tomorrow night's race at Daytona. 400 miles under the lights. Catch up to Harvick and dump him. I don't think I'm catching back up to Harvick. This car's killed on speed. I mean, I can't even get a big enough of a run to pass these cars at the back of the pack right now. Trying to make passes. Nothing really more to lose. Ryan Preece is in 36th, by the way. So Preece has scored 36th. Look at this. It's kind of how they were at the start of the race. She's 3 by 3, 4 wide a couple times in there. More than just a couple cars that have pulled away, though. There's another giant pack of cars all battling for the lead up there. Freestall Cup, welcome to the stream. So again, Bell's the last of the 11 playoff drivers that are still fighting for a spot in the round of 8. Byron already locked into the round of 8 with the win at Michigan. He is done for the day with a last place finish. Bell would get 2 points for his finishing position in 35th. Every position on up from here would be another point. So he's outlasted one other driver who is DNF'd. He's just hoping for more of that. Again, for those of you just tuning in, Bell's been dumped twice now today. Actually, 3 times, sorry. Been dumped 3 times, but twice we actually legitimately crashed. The first time was by teammate Martin Truex Jr. off a restart after the first caution of the day in the middle of green flag pit stops just after lap 60. Then obviously we just saw him get dumped by Harvick. Harvick stayed in the gas until he was all the way turned around, but then Cody Ware also down the straightaway. It dumped him. I guess I forgot about Matt Benedetto too. Benedetto pulled up right in front of the 20 coming out of the pits. Not even in front of him. I mean, just completely shot him into the wall. They're coming out of the pit lane. That caused another wreck. So I guess we've been dumped 4 times in the race today. Doing all 267. I plan on it. This is not fun for me personally, driving around like this, but we've seen cars wreck out of the race during pit stops under green, and it's still a one-stop race to the finish, I believe. Might be a 2-stop race, but I'm thinking it's a 1-stop race. So, well, actually, we restarted before 120 to go, so it may be a 2-stop race to the finish. If we get a couple more drivers to wreck out, that's a couple more points for Bell. Came in 29 points above the cutoff line. I would not be surprised if most of, if not all, those points were gone. Last time I saw, Tyler Reddick was leading, but that was before the last couple cautions. We've had 4 total now in the race. What lap and where on track? Are you talking about where I got dumped? I don't even know. I mean, it was all different. I know by Truex it was corner entry into 3. He just kind of got tight, moved up into us when we were 3 wide middle. And Harvick, I was just trying to stay out of the way on the outside, and he still dumped me. I can't remember if that was turn 3 or turn 1, but he was on corner entry again. Benedetto was middle of the back straightaway. Cody Ware was middle of the, one of the straightaways. I think it was the back straightaway. I can't even keep up with the pack right now in this heavily damaged car. Once we get to the final pit stop of the race, I think I'm going to park it after that. Because there's no incentive to just run to the end hoping that they're going to crash. Which I would have to assume that they're probably not going to crash out after that. There's no way of telling exactly how many laps down we are. If I had to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if we were 10 laps down, to be completely honest at this point. There are many laps down. Even from the next closest car in 34th, we're many laps down, who I believe is, yeah, James Davison. Top left of the screen. Saturday, Kansas premiere going to be postponed. Man, I guess I'll premiere Richmond on Saturday then. I think that'll probably be the plan. Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot I had a career mode planned on Saturday. Way to go, NASCAR 21 Ignition. Just messed my whole week up. Again, it's like the 3rd week in a row I put a weekly streaming schedule out. And because we have to delay a race because of the game not cooperating, throws the rest of the weekly streaming schedule out. Post those every Monday in the community tab. I should start putting in parentheses below the schedule, subject to change due to NASCAR 21 glitches and crashes. Hey, I hate you today. Yeah, I guess. I'll tell you what, it is going to be a nerve-wracking night tomorrow at Daytona to try and make it into the round of 12, a cutoff race. And with the leaderboard, you know, pretty much broken, unless you're all in one giant pack, which is at Daytona and Talladega, until you get to the first pit stops or a caution, it just gets randomized anyway. So we're just going to hope for the best. Now, Bell has had good runs on super speedways and bad runs. We've had 4 super speedway races so far this season. Christopher Bell won at Talladega in the Geico 500. In the other 50% race at Talladega, he finished dead last and 40th, and it crashed out of the race. In the 2 Daytona races, in the Daytona 500, he had crashed out of the race, finished outside the top 30. And then in the next Daytona race, in 80, I guess it was 100 laps in the daytime. It was supposed to be 80 laps in the night. Again, crashing, we ended up having to run the day race. And we ended up getting the top 10. I believe we finished 7th, if I remember correctly. It was middle of the season, but I know we finished back half of the top 10. I believe it was 7th. Who knows? I mean, depending on who wins this race, who wins tomorrow, 7th might not be good enough. We just don't know. We're not going to know exactly what the points look like until this race finishes, or at least until I get the points calculated at the end of the race. But we will definitely be live streaming tomorrow night. Plan to. Again, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're there. Round of 12 finale. At Daytona. Hopefully under the lights. It is going to be wild. Let me know down in the chat right now if any of you guys have run Daytona at night recently. And let me know if there is still a speed glitch where your car essentially like stops or slows down and the rest of the pack either speeds up or just keeps going. Let me know if you guys have still experienced those glitches at Daytona night. Because Daytona in the daytime I never had that problem, but Daytona under the lights, it was literally every time I tried it. Kind of like last night where we tried it for about an hour and then just kind of gave up after a while. It's like, okay, it's just not going to work. I have not watched that video, Reese. I don't even think I've watched the full one of her videos from start to finish. I've seen a couple of them. Like, I don't think I watched it all the way through. Usually it's like the at-track vlogs from the weekend. I was at the beginning of the season, and then when she was kind of consistently, you know, just not finishing well, I just stopped watching it. It was just kind of the same thing every time. Or like, I felt like we had a good run going, and then the wreck happened or something. It was always kind of like, it's just kind of the same story, different track. Not putting all the blame on her by any means. A lot of the accidents, in fact, she was involved in, because she went in for most of the year not DNFing, even if she was involved in somebody else's accident. That's just kind of the nature of the truck series, too. Still needs to perform better next year, though. If it's going to look like she's going to have a successful NASCAR career. She only had one top 10 this season. And if she goes out next year, and in my opinion, I think she's got to at least contend for a playoff spot, like really close. If she misses the playoffs next year, but it's much more consistent, I'm not saying she's going to be a Cup Series driver in the long run, but maybe she could be a career truck or Xfinity driver. I know that's not the ultimate goal, but there's some things some drivers have to sacrifice. There's a lot of drivers, a lot of great NASCAR drivers. Never really made it in the Cup Series, but had a great career in the Xfinity and in the trucks. A lot of great drivers. That doesn't mean you're a bad driver. You think Ron Hornaday's a bad driver? What, a 3-time truck champion? Xfinity champion, you think he's a bad driver? No. Mike Skinner? Awesome in trucks. Todd Bodine? Awesome in trucks, and really Xfinity Series, even with not the greatest equipment, just didn't pan out in the Cup Series for him. Elliott Sadler. And that's a guy who actually qualified for a chase at one point. With Robert Yates Racing in 2004. And has a few wins to show for in the Cup Series, but just couldn't sustain a long-term history there. Never won an Xfinity Series championship, but he was competitive. Made a great career out of it. Yeah, but even though it's a rookie season, you can't defend the fact she had one top 10 in 23 races. You can defend the fact that there was no practice or qualifying and that it was her rookie season. And you can defend that, but I still think she should have had more than one top 10 this season. She still underperformed, in my opinion. I think people that give her too hard of a time, though, don't realize that that equipment's not the greatest either. Hope the next patch is released soon. Hopefully. So, I guess our backup plan tomorrow, if we have a glitch at Daytona under the lights, I'll test it out as soon as I get home from work. I'll test it out when I get home from work. If I'm having those issues, we're just going to run NASCAR Chase for the Cup tomorrow night. The start may be delayed if I have to switch games because I'll have to practice for the next race. I haven't played that game since NASCAR 21 Ignition came out, so I'll definitely have to practice before running that next race. So we'll probably shoot for like a 6:30, 7 o'clock start time. So just be aware. I'll put something in the community tab if something's going down, and then obviously, the stream will be like up on the channel before the stream actually starts. In the comment section, I'll put something, or in the chat, I'll put something there too. So just for future reference, if you're wondering what's going down tomorrow, that would be the backup plan, and we'll just hold off on Daytona until that glitch gets fixed, hopefully, with the next patch if it comes up. That glitch has to be, it fixed, I guess it happened at Atlanta. It never happened to me personally at Atlanta because I never raced at Atlanta prior to the most recent patch, but I guess that same thing happened at Atlanta. They fixed it. For whatever reason, they didn't fix it at Daytona under the lights. I don't know of any other track that happens. And again, it's only at nighttime. It doesn't happen in the daytime. We ran Talladega, we didn't have an issue with it. Well, it did lag a little bit, but we kind of got lucky that it didn't do anything more, and that was it. Like, it didn't do it again, so it worked out. We ended up winning that race at the end of it, too. So, and the second time I ran at Talladega, I didn't have that problem at all. Max Gray, welcome to the stream. Running 100% Daytona night right now. Lap 23 just tuned in. So slowly going down. Well, thanks for good signs so far. so you're not having a glitching issue at Daytona. That's great to hear, Max. Thank you. Thank you for relaying that message down in the chat. That gives me optimistic hopes for tomorrow night that we can get that race in. The one thing not so optimistic is the point standings, obviously, and just have to wait in the community tab exactly what's going to go down. Closest driver, it looks like, at the front of the field that is in the playoffs that could win is Tyler Reddick. That would be big because Reddick came in last of the 12 drivers in points. He was 29 points below the cutoff line. He had a rough 34th place finish last night after DNFing at Michigan, or sorry, 2 nights ago after DNFing at Michigan. And don't look now, but also below the cutoff line, Martin Truex Jr. is up to 14. After being as far back as 34th at one point earlier in the race, so it looks like he's got a little bit of damage to the front of his car, but not affecting him too much. Bill's got some cars coming in hot here. I really don't want to wreck again, so I'm just going to hope and pray that I could just stay wide. They don't run into me because I tried to stay to the high side last time. And Kevin Harvick still dumped me. I'm not getting out of the gas any more than I have to. Gonna run the outside. They are coming. Give up the bottom. Tyler Reddick in that pack. That tells me only the top 2 cars are on the lead lap. If Reddick and Eric Jones are 3rd and 4th, they're right there. They're all going all the way to the wall. There goes Truex, Kyle Busch, couple of teammates. Kevin Harvick coming up the way in 9th place.
One left. Clear, clear, clear. Got one left, got one left.
And they'll staying wide, staying out of the way. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is the leader, trying to get his first win of the season. I know he's not in the playoffs, but if he wins this race, that would be the 18th different winner we would have this season. Chase Elliott is up to 2nd. He's another playoff driver, and he is the only other driver then potentially on the lead lap outside of Stenhouse. And I guess because Eric Jones and Tyler Reddick are ahead of Stenhouse currently, they would probably be on the lead lap as well in 3rd and 4th. Same issue Radman had at Dover. Oh, you're talking about just getting ran over by the AI? Yeah, we've had that issue before. I didn't have that issue at Dover, probably because I had stability help on. That was the first race I think I tried stability help. That was like almost halfway through the regular season. I went quite a ways into it. I don't have it on tonight. I only have it on for particular racetracks that I practice and know that I'm probably not going to make it to the end because of handling. No matter, because you can't put custom setups in to try and help tighten the car up, and the sliders don't really. I mean, the sliders help a little bit, but if you get long enough into a run, the slider kind of almost wears off, if that makes any sense at all, where it's just not effective anymore. It just goes back to. It's almost like the slider is dictating how you're going to do in the short run to the first half of the run. Then when you get the long run, the game just has it set out for you how the car is going to handle until you start making adjustments throughout the course of the race, which you can only do on pit stops, obviously. Austin Dillon right now in 17th, Chase Elliott in 2nd. Ideally, Bell's trying to hold Elliott back. He does not want Chase to run down Stenhouse and have a shot to win. Oh, 48 just moved up right. See, that's what I was kind of talking about. That's what was happening earlier. We just kept getting dumped. Bell holding his line on the outside even, letting these guys go. And the 48, Bowman still runs into the side of him. Elliott's still about 4 seconds behind Stenhouse, it looks like. Austin Dillon gets by. Yeah, it's not like that at every track. Like the career mode at Martinsville is fine. Honestly, the career mode in general has been fine with it. I haven't had an issue with like that kind of problem. We were just talking about the AI just kind of like sliding around on you. It's literally only been in the custom schedule season we've had this issue at like 3 different tracks now. This track, obviously, there was a Nashville. Well, Nashville the first time. The second time I didn't really have that issue. They might have fixed that in the past. In Nashville, we were just flat out slow. No matter what setup we had. Yeah, I mean, I could have went higher, but yeah, they still just... It's one thing to crowd and side draft and get really close to another person. That's just racing. Especially with how the aero package, this 550 package especially works. It's all over spoilers, try to get the side draft, move up as close as you can to another driver, even if it is in the middle of the corner, even if it is pinching them. That's fine. Taking lines away, that's perfectly fine. It's when they just run into the side of you and keep running up. Like, that does not happen in real life. Bell again just staying to the outside. Bigger pack of cars coming. Hamlin, Logano, both the Roush cars of Newman and Busher. Those guys all battling for position. Well, 5th through 6th at least. Hamlin is in 11th. Crew keeps talking about we have to pit soon. I don't know if he's accurate or not. Bell just ran into the wall that time. Turn 4. I think I'm just going to short pit anyway. I mean, we're just getting blown. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely pitting this time. Definitely pitting this time. There's a giant pack of cars coming 2 by 2, and I don't think Bell's going to make it out alive. So Bell will pit this time before the lap cars catch him. The lead lap cars, I guess. Well, they're not on the lead lap either. The faster cars catch Bell. I'm going to stay to the inside of the track. He'll pit off turn 4 this time. And, wow, the car just spun, locking the tires up, and he's in the inside retaining wall. As if things couldn't get any worse for Christopher Bell. Trying to back up so he doesn't miss the pit road entrance. And into the pits goes Bell. Can't lose any more spots on the racetrack, so I guess it wasn't the worst thing in the world. 4 tires and fuel here for Christopher Bell. Second to last stop of the day. At least we spun out of everybody's way. No caution, though. So we stay green once again. I like only one one crew member goes out to repair damage. You guys ever notice that? It's like always only 1 or 2. It's like, why aren't all 5 or 6 of them out there? Aren't all 6 guys out there trying to help work on the car like they would in real life? They just stand over the pit wall watching them. Maybe the repairs would actually be quicker in this game if you had more people out there repairing damage instead of just one guy. And that would only make sense. That's what happens in real life. Oh, wow. Bell's car just completely took off to the left, and he's still such a long slide on the access road. I don't know what was going on with the car there. It just slid on the access road, and once it got into the grass, it was sliding more. Again, Bell still scored 35th. Can't move back any further. He's got 5 drivers that are out of the race in the running order behind him. The short pitting here, Bell's definitely got to pit one more time. I know the rest of the field will have to pit at least once, maybe twice. And Elliott seems to be closing in on Stenhouse, so Elliott trying to join his teammate William Byron into the next round of the playoffs. He's within about 3 seconds of Stenhouse now. It was 4.5 at one point. I'll tell you what, if we actually get to the end of this race, I'll be thoroughly shocked. And again, that 1 point for just staying in the race, outlasting all the DNFs instead of just giving up and getting that 1 point. Now he's got 2. We still could see other drivers DNF from here on out as we have about 80 laps to go. That was a big block on the leader, Stenhouse. It's like Bell's got one of his 15 or so laps back. Get at least one more back when they all pit, too. See the comment about Haley Deegan in Martinsville? I did see the comment. I was only at Martinsville for the Cup race, so I didn't watch the truck or the Xfinity race live. I did watch the Xfinity race that night at the hotel. I couldn't watch the truck race because I was on the road at that time. I was trying to listen to it, but I wasn't getting good reception in the mountains outside of my GPS. So I couldn't really listen to it because I was trying to also, even before the truck race came on, I was trying to find the Michigan game, Michigan State game at the time. Couldn't find it, couldn't watch it until I got back to the hotel and watched the fourth quarter. And the truck race was over by then. I mean, it is good to come from... It's never a bad thing, obviously. It's cool to come from 3 laps down back to the lead lap. The problem, though, is that there was so many cautions in that race. I didn't watch it live when it happened, but I watched the highlights of it, or the lowlights. I always call it the lowlights, the truck series, because all it is a bunch of crashes on the quote-unquote highlights. But it was a wreck fest of a race. Didn't they run like over 50% of the laps under caution? Or right around 50% of the laps under caution?
Stay right. Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear.
Alright, well, Spotter told us cleared 9 times there. I didn't know Bell was clear. 3 wide to the top. Bell's got nothing to lose anymore. He doesn't want to wreck again just in case he gets disqualified and loses that 1 point he's already got. But, you know, even if it did disqualify us, I'm going to give us that point.
Clear, clear, clear.
Reddick has definitely gapped himself on Stenhouse. Unless his pit crew gives him a really fast stop, or he plays a potential fuel mileage game correctly to the end of this race, I just do not see Tyler Reddick being able to make up enough ground to try and win this race on his own. All to the outside of Reddick off the exit of turn 2. Gonna be a good points day for Reddick.
Still next to you. Clear, clear, clear.
Kyle Busch will start the green flag pit stops off turn 4 this time. So definitely everybody will have to make one more stop to the end as we have 70. Well, then again, we might be enough laps down. And we're not going to know when the final lap is until we literally get the white flag. So maybe we're enough laps down that it is only one stop race to the end. I would imagine Bell pitting before everybody else. He will probably have to make another stop. I probably will just to be safe anyway. We can't gain any more positions. Might as well play it safe. A couple more drivers coming into the pit lane. We've seen a couple accidents so far at the entrance to pit road, which is why we have 5 drivers out of the race. Just waiting and seeing if we end up getting that again.
Got one right. Clear, clear, clear.
Davidson crowded him. I think James Davidson's coming into the pits this time. Yep. Oh, there it is. Big wreck on the entrance to pit road again. That could be more points for Christopher Bell. No caution. We stayed green. Who's involved in that? You really wonder if it could be any one of the leaders. Obviously, there's a lot of cars piled up there. It could be a potential playoff driver, a couple of them. All this still causing drama to the end of this race. This is the drama Bell needs. Potentially could be the last stop of the day. Oh man, Bell into the side of Truex. Truex just pitted. He's come back in again. They're still parked there at the exit of the pit road. Not going to know if anybody's going to be out of the race from that wreck until well after the fact, because it's going to take a while for Bell to make up those laps even if they wreck out right now. Second time Truex and Bell got together heavily today. Both times Truex just ran into Bell. He's trying to pit from the second lane. I thought he just came out of the pit lane. Oh man, another car parked sideways. Ross Chastain looked like he was one of them. Somebody pulled in line behind him. So how many more cars are potentially out of the race? Not 200 for Bell at least. Caution's out. Caution's out again. Bell will stay out of the pits. Maybe try to get another lap back. Bell still scored 35th. I'd have to imagine we've got some guys out of the race. Green flag back in the air. Oh, what is going on? That was the game. That was the game. The game turned me to the right. Everybody's stacking up right now. I had to go in 4th gear because the car was just wanting to spin out. Now we get another caution. So now we have our 6th caution of the race today. Our 6th caution. They're stopping again. Stacking up. More and more. We'll see if we stay green. Bell is up to 32nd. Caution out again. Travis Glanton, welcome to the stream. 7th caution of the race. This was kind of similar to the glitch we were having at Phoenix earlier in the season. I don't think 3 wide middle is the place to be here for Bell. Jabbing on the brakes, trying to get out of the way. It does. Another caution, our 8th of the day. This is probably just going to end up running us to the end of the race, I'd have to imagine. Well, this could randomize the finishing order up some more, too. Car keeps, it's like driving on ice on the restarts. I have to put it to 3rd gear right away. More cars running into the back of each other. 9th caution of the race now. We have one more. It's going to be the 2nd most amount of cautions we've had in a race this season. Dark Crypto, welcome back to the stream. I don't know what's going on. Hey, this will get the race over quicker for Bell's sake. Oh man, just cut down in front of Haley. Tyler Reddick is up to 2nd place. So something is definitely working out in Tyler Reddick's favor here, as we have now our 10th caution recorded. Well, I just got alerted. Chase Elliott won the most popular driver award this season. Oh, man. Yeah, see, I tried to get into the gas too hard. And now Bell's going to bring out that caution. Well, caution is out again. Christopher Bell spins that time around. Our 11th of the race. I have to put it to third gear. It spins out when I'm on the gas. And there it is, caution number 12. And the suffering Sooner. We are going to have to get back to the white flag for this race to end at some point, but for right now, it's at least clicking by fairly quick.
You're in the middle here, 3 wide. Car right. Clear.
So Stenhouse still the leader. Another caution is out. Number 12. Headed to another restart. The record, remember, is 21 back at Phoenix. And if we had more laps left in this race at the time of this happened. Okay, I guess the race is over. That might have been it. I think it was. Okay, so I guess the race ended under caution somehow. I don't know how the race ended, but I will take it. 32nd place finish for Bell. He outlasted a couple more drivers with that last caution flag, and well, not the last caution, but the last like legitimate wreck, and then we ended up having 13 cautions total in the race with that last one that ended it. We didn't get to the white flag, so I'm not sure exactly why the race ended there, but I guess it ended. I thought it black flagged us for a second, but it didn't. So just by Bell running to the end of the race, he, even though wrecked earlier, was able to finish 32nd. That gives him 5 points today instead of 1. So he gained 4 more points just by running over over a dozen laps down for most of, 13 laps down at the end. So he ran 13 laps down for over half the race there to the finish just to hopefully outlast more DNFs. That's exactly what happened, so good for Bell. That crew just trying to stay resilient. Good thing for Bell as well. Checkered flag falls and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse is the winner today at Homestead. His first win of the season, the 18th different winner this year. But because he is not in the playoffs, nobody will advance into the next round. Wreckfest at Homestead, yeah. 13 cautions, second most on the season, only behind Phoenix where we had 21 for that same glitch happening. But in any race that it was going to happen, I'm glad it was this one because I did not feel like running those last. It was we had about 60 laps to go when that started happening. So it really only ended the it probably ended the race about 20 minutes to a half hour short. I'll take it. And we made it to the end. 13 laps down, we just somehow was able to get it done. Points implications for sure. I'm actually, if you guys don't mind sticking around, I'll do the points right now, because this race got done a little earlier, and let you guys know what they calculated out to be. If not, I'll just end the stream. It's up to you guys. I'll let you guys decipher. But it's gonna probably take me about 10 minutes to get this fixed. Had like 50 to go. Well, yeah, I guess considering we were as many laps down as we were, we probably did have about 50 to go. I think it started for ourselves when we had just over 60 laps left, but considering we were 13 laps down, don't mind, yeah. I don't know how many people are watching right now. We got 10 people watching. Don't mind, yeah, it's up to you guys. I can't end the stream. Fine with it? Alright, well, I guess you guys are going to be the first to know. I'll still put it in the community tab, but at least I'll have the points calculated tonight then. There's one upside to the game glitching out on us tonight. I'm honestly just kind of scared to even find out. So 5 points for us. I think we were last of the playoff drivers. There's a look at the top 10. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with the win. Tyler Reddick second. Eric Jones third. Chase Elliott fourth. Reddick was the highest playoff driver, but he came in 29 points below the cutoff line. Elliott, again, fourth. Kevin Harvick rounds out the top 5. Ryan Newman, 6th. Joey Logano, 7th. Kyle Busch, 8th. Chris Buescher, 9th. Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 10. Playoff drivers outside the top 10 would include Mark Truex Jr., who came back from 34th to 13th. Kyle Larson finishes 14th. Kurt Busch finishes 16th. Alex Bowman, 18th. Austin Dillon, 20th. And then the only other 2 drivers would be Christopher Bell and William Byron. Byron finished dead last, getting in that first caution of the day way back at lap 60. That brought out the first yellow, but remember that also he is locked into the next round, so that does not hurt him at all. Bell, by quite a bit, is last of those 11 drivers who were still fighting for 7 spots coming into the night. Bell finishes again 32nd, 13 laps down. Got wrecked, unfortunately, on accident by his teammate, and then Harvick just flat out dumped him a little later. Benedetto and Cody Ware came in on the party. They dumped Bell at one point. Allgaier won the Xfinity Most Popular Driver. Wow. I know he's been winning it quite a bit recently, or at least he did last year too. I'm surprised Gregson didn't get it, honestly. Allgaier's a good guy, though. Game glitching out could have the positives and negatives. Yeah, I mean, we won Talladega because of it this year. We could have won without it, but less craziness for us. Alright, so Austin Dillon gets 13 points for his finish, getting him to... Or sorry, 17. He gets 17 points for his finish. So that would put Austin Dillon at... Let me make sure I'm getting this right. 30-53. Or wait a minute. 30-54, sorry. So we're already ahead of Austin Dillon. Alex Bowman gets 19 points, which would put him at 30-58, more than us. Or sorry, we had more than him. Kurt Busch gets 21 points. He was already below the cutoff line. 30-56. Kyle Larson is going to get 23 points. He's also below the cutoff line, so I think we'll be all right there. Gives Larson 30-59, which we're ahead of him still. Martin Truex Jr., well below the cutoff line. We should have been ahead of him. But he gets 24 points, which would get him to 30-35. Then Denny Hamlin should be ahead of us now. Way ahead of us, honestly. Top 10, he gets 27 points, getting him to 30... 30-88. Kyle Busch gets 29 points. He should also be way ahead of us. Getting him to 30-87. Kevin Harvick gets 32 points. Getting him to 30-71, which is ahead of us. Chase Elliott's going to be ahead of us, getting 33 points to 30-77. Tyler Reddick gets 35 points. He was the final driver above the cutoff line, getting him to 30-44. And I just got to put it in order, and I'll have it up for you guys. 14 people watching, definitely hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new for more daily NASCAR content. Calculating the points at the end of this race here tonight. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with the win. His first of the season. Not a playoff driver, though. Getting the win. And the game crashed. Good thing I got all the points in. One time the game glitches and then crashes. Doesn't concern me any. I barely got all the points calculated before that happened. That was actually kind of good timing. I'll turn my PS4 off and save the electricity bill or something now while I'm at it. Jeez. All right. Oh. So, I mean, position-wise, we didn't lose too many spots tonight as far as the point standings go, but we did lose a lot of points to the cutoff line. We should still be above the cutoff line, but not by much. Going into Daytona, came in 29 points to the good. Still putting it in order, so I don't know exactly as of this moment how many points us, aka Christopher Bell, would be ahead of the cutoff line yet. So we came in second. I think we're going to be sixth. It looks like. It's a good thing Reddick didn't win, because then we'd be seventh. And that cutoff line would be even tighter. He finished second place. He almost did it. He climbed himself out of a pretty good hole. He's still going to be below the cutoff line, but he definitely made up quite a few points. Just imagine if we end up making it to the next round by less than 5 points. It's going to go back to those 5 points we had tonight versus getting 1 point just for staying in the race, not quitting. That's why you never give up, ladies and gentlemen. I thought about it, but that exactly proved my point that every point mattered. It was worth us staying in the race. I think Kyle Larson's above the cutoff line now. Despite coming in with only 3 playoff points, he's the only driver with no wins into this round. Consistency is keeping Kyle Larson in his hunt for the championship. Even with the resets. Didn't have a top 10 tonight, but what, he finished 14th? I feel like I forgot a driver. No, I got them all. Never mind. I don't know why I was thinking I was missing somebody. I had to recount. Almost forgot how to count to 12. How can you expect me to do the points myself when I can't even count to 12? Random question. Do I have solar panels? No, I do not. No, I do not. That was a random question, though. Okay, so now I got it in order. I just got to do the difference in the point standings for each, or I should say between every driver, and we'll be good to go after that. So we went from 29 points above the cutoff line down to 14, so it was pretty much cut in half. The 32nd place finish tonight. We're lucky that the first driver below the cutoff line is Kurt Busch, because Kurt Busch finished 16th. So he gained 16 points on us himself, but... And then Austin Dillon, who's the next driver in points behind him, also finished 20th. So they didn't have very good runs either. If they would have had top 10 performances, then we would have been like very, very close to the cutoff line. But luckily, they did not have a great day. We had a much worse day, don't get me wrong, but we salvaged as much as we could. I mean, ultimately, again, that depending on exactly what goes down at Daytona tomorrow night, that could be the difference in us being eliminated tomorrow night after Daytona or moving on to the round of 8. Then we'll have the reset in our favor again. It's a good thing we had those 6 wins in the regular season, too. Playoffs have just not gone our way. Two top 10s in 5 playoff races. It has just been rough, to say the least. I mean, that's the consistency we had in the regular season, too, but I had 6 wins because we finished 18th in the regular season standings. So if theoretically we didn't have a win, we would have missed the playoffs, but we did win 6. We didn't even have consistency on points to make it. There's 2 there. Tyler Reddick goes from 29 points below the cutoff line to 14 points below the cutoff line. So he closes in a bit too. Truex closed in a slight margin from 27 points back to 23, but he is not a comfortable situation. With no stages, the max amount of points again he could score without a win is 35. You can only outscore somebody by 34 points at the most without winning. A win obviously guarantees you a spot. So for him to make it on points, let's say he finishes second. Next driver above the cutoff line, Alex Bowman, would have to finish 28th for it to be a tie. I don't know who's got the tiebreaker between the two, but yeah, 28th for it to be a tie if Truex finishes second. So Truex likely in a must-win situation. Reddick, I wouldn't say must-win, but kind of have to have a little bit more luck. But if you're going to have luck, being 14 points back, that's the track to have it on. I'll go full screen real quick. Let me crop the size for you guys. All right. So here is the current playoff standings. As we go full screen now. And Ricky Stenhouse, did my game crash? Yes, it did. So I just turned my PS4 off. I did get the finishing results in, though. I'll have to go back into the stream to, calculate who had top 10 and not, because I've been keeping track of that as well. Top 10s, top 5s. But all right, William Byron Obviously, he is in already. Denny Hamlin, very comfortable situation, 32 points above the cutoff line. Very, very comfortable for him. Again, considering that max amount of points you can score without a win is 35. So as long as Hamlin finishes 32nd or better, he will make it to the next round of the playoffs. And that's not even, or well, you can only outscore by 34. So I guess 34th place. So 34th place or better for Hamlin. And then 33rd place or better for Kyle Busch at Daytona will be all they need to make it to the next round. That is even if Kurt Busch finishes second, for instance. That'd be their only ways that they could get eliminated. Or, I guess, finishing those positions, and then obviously Martin Truex Jr. or Reddick or Austin Dillon going out and winning. But a very good finish for those guys, or even a bad finish for those guys. Them doing what I did tonight, essentially, they'll make it into the next round with that. Anyway, Chase Elliott, 21 points above the cutoff line. Kevin Harvick, 15 points above the cutoff line. Our driver, Christopher Bell, 14 points above the cutoff line. +3 for Kyle Larson, and then +2 for Alex Bowman. First driver below the cutoff line is Kurt Busch, 2 points to the negative. Austin Dillon is 4 points down below the cutoff line. Tyler Reddick, 14 points below, and 23 points below is Martin Truex Jr. So that is the current playoff standings. I'll be up in the community tab by the time, at least before I go to bed tonight. So just for the further clarification of things there. Thanks for everybody coming into the stream, though, here tonight. Greatly appreciate it, as always, even if the races don't go our way. Still love you guys liking the commentating, of course, with the full races, with whether it's a video game, real race. Great hanging out, watching the races with you guys, too. So I appreciate you guys coming through in the clutch, as always. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. The plan tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NASCAR 21 Ignition at Daytona under the lights for the round of 12 elimination race. 400 miles, 160 laps scheduled distance for that one, and we'll hope for the best. We'll see if Bell can get it done. If the game has a speed glitch again, which I know Daytona under the lights, it tends to do that, at least on my PS4. So if that happens again tomorrow night, I will know before we go live. We'll end up just doing Dover for NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. That's the next race of the Chase there. I think it's the third race of the Chase. It might be Talladega. It's one of the two. It's either Dover or Dega. I can't remember how many races we've done, but either way, it'll be the second or third race of the Chase there. But we'll be playoff/chase racing no matter what tomorrow. I can guarantee that. And we will be live on the channel. So just keep an eye out for that one. Again, community tab tomorrow. Before I go live, I'll post something as well before actually going live tomorrow evening. Have a good rest of your Thursday night, everybody. Hopefully tomorrow you kickstart a good way to your early weekend.